Getting nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. We're still... I don't know why this tea time... Oh, it's looping the last minute of the song. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and go to the next one. Get us unpaused here. We're still increasing power outputs, electricity outputs, which is going to be important. I think, given the balance in art here, I think I might end up having an expansion of our art industry be the next thing I do. So let's go ahead and take a look what we've got here. We've got a huge number of arts academies in Sviland right now. But again, I don't want to privilege that area too much. Because, in theory, we should be able to have people making nice art anywhere in the country. So I'm going to put some arts academies in northern Norway and western Norway. And... let's see. I'll put a few more in Sviland, that's for sure. Since that is where the unemployment is. Bavaria wants a defensive pact. I can't even get to you down there, Bavaria. You're too far away. Where are people migrating from Norland? They're going to Schleswig-Holstein. We have very high attraction, mostly from available employment. Alright. I still do want to get Norland up there in overall employment. Why can't you... doesn't have the funds to hire anybody. Well, you can bounce. Hey, if I subsidize you, does that put cash in your reserve? Arva Skank has died. And yet, Knut Nordstrom continues to go strong at the age of 92. Oh, goodness, there he goes. Well, you served a long time, Knut. You worked hard. You, I can't go to his details screen. You done good, sir. Rest in peace. Time to get us a new general. Let me see. This guy, Armed Forces, Social Democrat, Persistent. That's pretty good. Supplier Acquisitions Expert, that's very good. Expensive Taste, no penalty as commander. Interesting. This guy has those same qualities. He's petit bourgeois and urbatical. So I'm privileging this guy above that. And then this guy as a communist, but he's a traditionalist and a hedonist and a traditionalist commander. So I think we're going to go with this fella as our main fella. And we'll just put him at the same rank as Valdemar Treschau. And then we'll pull in one more guy. So this guy's a traditionalist commander and brave. Brave is very good. Not quite as good as persistent, though, as it turns out. So we'll go with you. It's an interesting thing to realize that persistent and brave are not. Okay, so you're still unprofitable, though. Why are you unprofitable? Probably because wages are it's 5.56 from being subsidized. Are all of our arts academies basically unprofitable? Is that a thing that's happening? The Svealand ones aren't. The Svealand ones are profitable. So why are you... I wonder if it just has to do with market conditions in the state. Zealand ones are unprofitable. Interesting. What about the ones in... All these are losing... Why are these arts academies losing money all of a sudden? It's quite curious. Did the price of art go down? No. No, it did not. I mean, it did a little bit, but only a little bit. It's still very expensive compared to its base price. Maybe I don't want to build any more of these. Maybe I'll just build the ones in Western Norway then. That's curious. So if I grab this Arts Academy and stop subsidizing it, it's going to start firing people. Just make sure that that's true before I... No, not yet. Curious. That's strange. That's really strange. I don't know why that happens. Anyway. So I gotta find something else to build, huh? Artillery is suddenly very expensive. I wonder if we're using the highest method for our arms industries. We are. Very curious. Move those buildings to being publicly traded. Not the shipyards, though. Can't do it with the motor industries because they're not electric yet. Electricity continues to be just bonkers expensive. I don't know how to help with that, other than just by building up more of them. I think I might need... I think my issue might be universities. I think I might need universities, particularly in these areas that are not really kind of in the dead center. Of the country, because I think one of my issues might be a simple shortage of I think it might be a shortage of qualifications. Plus, let's build some more levels of construction industry. I think I was worrying about money for a long time and not paying enough attention to how much construction capacity I had and could use. And I think that might have been an error, because my economy is still continuing to grow. Okay, settle down. So I'm going to get those new construction industries going. No, I'll do them now. Because I think one of the reasons we've had a little bit of trouble employing all the people we want to be employing in these higher tier buildings is because we don't have the necessary qualifications. And I think one of the ways you solve that is by building up universities. So I'm hoping that serves pretty well for us. Paper in our market's moderately cheaper than what it ought to be, than its balance point, which is pretty good. Services are, of course, dirt cheap, but that's the way we want them, because services being cheap are what makes the country able to do everything it wants to do. Still doing pretty well exporting explosives. Let's go ahead and build up some more chemical plants once that whole business with the... once I finish my university expansion. And we're just going to put a ton of them right here in Svealand, because Svealand has a huge amount of labor, and I want to serve that market, as it were. So we've got a little bit of unemployment in a lot of places. Nils With, he's a vanguardist. Start a movement to enact council republic. Well, we might take the plunge on that. I don't know. We'll see. Will we go full communism? We'll definitely get 61% chance. The petite bourgeoisie will be against it. The industrialists will radicalize, and that might mean they're going to start a civil war about it. So, in order to avoid a civil war, I might just tell Nils With he needs to go. If the petite bourgeoisie side with the industrialists, then that might be a problem. It's only 1896. It's early on. How much radicalism is this creating? 6.61 per month. So in 20 years, that's going to be 6.5 times 12 is 13 times 6, which is about 96. So in 20 years, it'll be... So that's about 100,000 people a year. So in 20 years, we're looking at like 2 million people. That's not completely intolerable. We can always do it later, though. As we continue to build up a very strong economy here. These universities are going to employ a lot of people, and that'll be really good for us. It will cost the government some money, but that is all right. Interesting. Universities only use one level of infrastructure, one infrastructure each. I didn't realize that. That's neat. I also want to get electrics industries built up. So what do we need for that? We need iron, lead, tools, and rubber. But in order for that to work, we'll need to get central planning to kickstart our... Oh, we've almost got central planning. Well, that's wonderful. All right, so we'll queue up a bunch of those. Oh, we've already got them queued up. The private sector is already furnishing us the telephones we desire. That's fun. Good for them. We're down to about 80,000 unemployed. Wonderful. So let's get a level of these built up. Let's stack up a few more in Schleswig-Holstein. And we'll put some... No unemployment in Gotland and none in Iceland. Some in Norland. So let's go ahead and build... Well, that'll be okay. Unemployment in Svealand is going down. Let's put some more in Scania. So I queued up 10 levels of electrics industries. That's going to produce 600 telephones altogether. So let's see how much we need for our government admin. To go fully up to this, we need 390. Okay, that's actually quite reasonable. And that'll produce a ton of bureaucracy and a ton of taxation capacity. It will also cost the government a lot of money. So maybe I'll wait or do it a little bit at a time. I don't think this number is accurate. This minus 113K a week. That'll employ a bunch more bureaucrats and fewer clerks. Korea is improving relations. Wonderful. Finland, are you able to be my protectorate yet? No. I don't have an obligation yet from them. So, unemployment is getting lower and lower. We're down to 40,000, so I think it's time to pull the trigger on another one of these automation methods. The Belle Epoque. What happened? Interesting. So this is an interesting journal entry. If I can end migration controls, I can... And if I separate church and state. I'm still using some of this authority, though. Because I like having... Oh, you know what? We're not getting immigration from a bunch of places because we don't have total separation of church and state. Intelligentsia oppose state atheism. Yeah, and state atheism creates a big situation. So we're going to go with total separation for now. This is going to remove 100 of my base authority, which is going to cost me probably 2 of my consumption taxes. It's going to be kind of a problem for the government financially a little bit, but I think it'll mostly be okay. So, where's telephones right now? How many people are buying telephones? Hold on. Huh. Telephones aren't being listed, but I do have one level of electric industry right now, don't I? Oh, not yet. Well, that's okay. Alright, so once those buildings are all built, we're going to have a very nice, a very large amount of electrics to play with. And after that, we'll increase those, the bureaucracy output, and hopefully that'll kind of solve our bureaucracy problems forever. We do still have increased port capacity in a couple of different areas. So I think that's going to be something we'll work on next. Go ahead and get that started. Very nice. This is actually very high construction capacity for this government. So hopefully we'll be able to keep those things going. Power is doing okay, so I think it's time to get our whaling stations and our fishing wharves. Fishing wharves still don't like it. But they're not doing badly, are they? Let's give this a second to sort itself out. They are going down. Yeah, I don't know, friends. I don't know how to help with that. What cost is transport and electricity? But we're doing pretty well on electricity. Like, we've got... I guess it's just the size of the increase compared to the amount of electricity we've currently got available. Let's go to these automatic power looms. Okay, so that does make the textile mills more productive. That's very good. So now that we've done those automations, let's look to bring those people into jobs in the electricity industry. So where do we have labor available now? Yeah, we've made a ton of labor available in Joteland. So I think we're going to queue up another 8 levels of power plants over there. Coffee Talk event. We've seen this before. We don't necessarily concern ourselves with it. I think once we get these telephones built, we're going to build ourselves a skyscraper, and that's going to give us even more bureaucracy But actually, I'm probably not going to use it for bureaucracy. I'm going to use it probably as a trade center, because we've got 1,000,000 trade centers in Svianund, and having increased trade center throughput would be just wonderful. As you can see, after all this automation, our standard of living continues to rise, which is excellent. Our lower stratum has hit 16, which is just wonderful. Something I'm very pleased with. Come on. Oh, I should queue up something else, huh? No, not film. No. Art silk, then conveyors. Oop. I accidentally hit OK, but we got pneumatic tools. So that's going to be the thing that increases our output for hardwood. And as you can see, we're producing much more hardwood. And in turn, that's going to make our logging camps much more profitable. So, now that we've got those electrics industries, let's take a look at them and make sure they're profitable. They are not, but that's okay, because it's time to upgrade our government administration. As you can see, this costs us some money, but this number is going to go... This is going to sort itself out as the electrics industries become profitable. Yeah, so as you can see, those are maximally profitable right now. And now we have a market for telephones in our country. As this number goes up, which it will, and again, that's going to reduce the cost of the telephones, which in turn is going to make the government much more solvent. We have another agitator agitating for Council Republic. That's wild. We're still producing... So, we should be producing about 600 telephones by the time these buildings get maximally employed. So, I'm hoping we'll be able to export some, and that'll be nice. Anyone want telephones? Doesn't look like it. Anyway, now that we've got a whole ton of bureaucracy, it's time to survey for a skyscraper site. So this is just going to take up 1,000 bureaucracy. It's going to take 2 years. And then once the... Oh no, it only takes 500 bureaucracy. Grassroots support for the law, very good. So once this 2 years are finished out, we're going to build us up a skyscraper. And it's probably going to go in Stockholm. There's a civil war in Karen. How are we in a convoys shortage again? Something strange is going on in Western Norway. I'm gonna... leave the game to sort those out, and hopefully I haven't caused a giant problem. So sometimes this game can get a little silly. So as we increase power output here, power remains extremely expensive compared to its balance point. And I want to get that up because I want to get these get the fishing places able to profitably expand. But we are very good on railways. Let's build up another one. Let's build up some railways in places that have low infrastructure. Because again, the other thing that production method for the fishing wharves cost is transport. It says it'll be profitable. It's been saying that, though. It goes down. And that says it'll be 10k more profitable to do this. Well, hold on. They're going back up. You know what it might be? It might be that when you make changes like that, it changes up the labor market, and that leads to the change being profitable when it wouldn't have before. Let's do this. Oh god. Oh god, that made them totally unprofitable. Cool, we're in the study phase. Alright, so... Right, because the cost of electricity is way too high. Okay, so these buildings are losing employment, so we'll go back to Steam. That's so strange to me. Right, and we built up all those more power plants, and that's basically provided enough power to balance the amount of additional power used by the fishing wharves. Okay, so now the fishing wharves are more profitable. Still, I want to get another block of power plants, and I think the place for them is Jutland. And after that, I'm going to leave my my situation for now. To be honest, I could definitely... I need to make a decision about whether or not to go to Council Republic. Because I've got a couple of big agitators. That would mean a pretty radical transformation of the country. But I think we could do it. It's going to be a new century. It might just work out. To seriously consider it. Okay, so we got Art Silk going here. When we get, so when we get that, I'm going to switch these over to producing silk. And I think that will make our... that will make them even more profitable. Because... okay, but hold your horses here. So if I take my trade routes that are importing silk, and let me just make sure I got them all together. So, how much silk can we produce? 1.04 thousand. So, if I take my... here, I only have one coming from Russia, so if I cut it, it's going to put me in a shortage. Then I set these producing rayon. And this causes them to produce less dyes, but it also causes them to produce enough silk. Right? And we can export silk. Heck, this is excellent. Because a lot of countries will buy silk. Campaign of banquets. Do this again. And let's... They're still not profitable. Well, silk still continues to be cheap now. I guess not all of them can. Alright, so we're going to need to vary it up state by state. So let's grab all the ones in Norway and have them producing just dyes. And then the one in Schleswig-Holstein can produce just dyes. And then that puts our silk market in balance. And that keeps these ones pretty profitable. And that means we can build our own silk. Socialist demagogue. Oh boy. Well, it's going to be an exciting election, friends, but that's going to have to be in for next time. Until then, I've had fun. I hope you've had fun, and I'll see you all on the other side.